Hi everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to the Name Cloud, where I bring you new creative name ideas and information every week. If you are a fellow name enthusiast or you're looking for name inspiration, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we can be friends and talk about names. So today's video is going to be names I love but won't be using, aka names I love but my husband hates, because if he didn't hate them, I would be using them. So we have one son together already, and we actually agreed on his name really easily. We found out his gender early at only 9 weeks with a blood test, and we knew his name like from that day on. And his name is Reuben Jeffrey, so that is my son's name. But I have 10 names for you guys today that I love but will never get to use because my husband hates them. So let's start off with the girls' names. So the first girl's name I have for you guys is probably one of my favorite girls' names of all time. However, it was a hard no from my husband, and I don't think I'll ever get him on board with this one. But the name is Calliope, and I love this name so much. I love a lot of Greek, like mythology-inspired names. And Calliope is actually a muse in Greek mythology, and I just think the name is so beautiful. I love the spelling, the pronunciation, the origin, everything about it. So that's probably my number one girl name. Next on my list is Fern, which I think is a really sweet nature name. And I think I first heard this name off of the show Arthur when I was little, and I just always loved it since then. So yeah, that is Fern. And let me know what you guys think about that one, because I've heard that one is pretty, some people really like it, some people really don't. The third one I have for you guys is another nature name. This one is Lark, and I think that it's beautiful. I love the bird association. My husband's not a fan though, so let me know what you think. Next on my girls list is the name Flora. And I guess we're just sticking with the nature names here. But I love the name Flora because it is old-fashioned and sweet, and it doesn't make you think of flowers. But at the same time, it's short, it's easy to spell and pronounce, and people still recognize it and know it. So I love Flora. And then my last girl's name on here is the name Francesca. And I think Francesca sounds so elegant and sophisticated and beautiful, and actually has a lot of good nickname potential. I think a lot of people would want to go for Frankie, but I also love Cheska. I think that's beautiful. So those are my 5 girls' names today, guys, that I love but will never get to use. So let's move on to the boys' names. Now, a lot of these boys' names actually have the same sort of mythological theme as a couple of my girls' names did, or maybe just Calliope, but I have more on the boy side. So the first one is Mars, and this name is pretty out there. But what I love about this one is not only does it have to do with Roman mythology, because Mars is like the Roman name of Ares, the Greek god, but it also is, and I think even the more prominent association would be the planet Mars. So it's kind of like a space-themed name as well. Another one very similar in that same vein is Apollo, because Apollo is a name from Greek mythology, but then it is also associated with space, as it was the rocket ship. And then what else do I have for boys? Oh yeah. Okay, this is a name I have loved for boys for a long time, but it's the name Shepherd. And I think that it is just the sweetest name. There's a lot of like occupations used as names, like a really common one would be hunter, for example, but I think shepherd just has such a sweeter quality to it. And it's kind of like animal themed without being like too overt. And actually, if you guys know Mallory Irvin, she's an amazing social media influencer. She was also on a couple of different reality TV shows. I follow her on Instagram, and she actually just had a little boy, I think a couple months ago, and his name is Shepherd, and I was so happy when I saw that she chose that name because I love it, but I will never use it. So, okay, I've got 2 more boys' names for you guys. Another boy's name I love is the name Wilder. And I think this is really cute because it does sound like a little wild, but also it's like a literary name in my mind because of Laura Ingalls Wilder and her Little House on the Prairie books, which I loved when I was little. So it reminds me of that, and I really like that name. And then the last boy's name I have that I love but won't be using is the name Felix. And what I love about Felix is, let's see, what do I love about Felix? I love the happy association because it means happy in Latin. And I also love it because it just sounds like a fun and funky name, like with the X on the end, but it's also very traditional and has been around for a long time. So those are the 10 names, guys, that I love but will never get to use. Let me know down below if you liked any of these, what you think, and what names do you love but won't be using. I would love to know. And you can let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future name ideas. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.